Hello. Today we have a very, very special guest with us, Queen Mary of Scots.
Hello, everyone. As Kim just said, I'm Queen Mary, and I want to thank you for having me.
Of course. So glad you can come. I want to start by asking you a few questions.
Of course. Ask whatever you want.
Let's start off with some basic questions. When and where were you born?
I was born December 8th, 1542, in Loughborough Palace, UK.
Have you ever been married?
Yes, I've actually been married 3 times.
Wow.
My first husband, Francis II of France. My second, Lord Darnley, and my last, James Hepburn.
Do you have any kids?
Yes, I have one son with my second husband, James IV.
Oh, that's a wonderful name. When did you become Queen of Scots?
I became Queen of Scots 6 days after I was born. My father had died shortly after my birth, making me Queen of Scotland.
Wow, that must have been very difficult growing up being a queen at such an early age. Were there challenges?
I mean, of course, with every queen there are challenges. But my challenge is people want a queen who has been prepared and not a queen who's thrown to the crown. People would say that I'm unfit and things like that.
Oh, that must have been so horrible to have gone through that. Can I ask, why did you get married to Prince Francis II of France?
That's a good question. My parents and his parents wanted to form this thing called a union, which means that France and Scotland would come together and work and help each other.
So you were kind of forced upon each other. That must have been difficult not marrying for love.
At first it was.
As a queen, do you have to know different languages? If so, what are they?
Yes, I can speak Latin, Italian, Spanish, French, and some Greek.
It's very, very impressive. I'm lucky to speak one language. Are there any facts about you that people might not be aware of or know?
Actually, there is this one. My dad was King James V of Scots, and my mother was Mary, my dad's second wife. My great-grandfather was Henry VIII, making Henry VIII her great-uncle, making Queen Elizabeth I my cousin.
Wow, you were related to her? That had to be pretty cool. What happened to King Francis II?
My first husband, my true love, died a year later after claiming the throne from an ear infection and made me a widow at 18.
I'm so sorry. Can you tell us about how your second marriage went?
Our marriage was far from perfect. Shortly after we wed, he would cause a lot of problems. The biggest problem he was known for was when him and a group of Protestant nobles murdered my Italian secretary. They had stabbed him 56 times.
Oh my goodness.
I was pregnant at the time. I gave birth to my son and wished not to be married to my husband.
I'm so sorry that you went through such a difficult marriage. Since we have talked about the first 2 marriages, why not? We can talk about your final one.
After my second husband mysteriously killed in an explosion of Edinburgh in February 1567, I later married my third and final husband, James Hepburn, in May. He was said to be the main suspect in my second husband's case. He wanted to be a powerful king.
Wow, that must have been difficult not knowing if your third husband may have killed your second. That's difficult. Is there anything else you would like to share with us?
As a great-granddaughter of Henry VIII, I had a strong claim to the English throne. My French father-in-law made the claim to the throne, but I was never Queen of England. The English Catholics plotted to get me on the throne by assassinating Queen Elizabeth, my cousin.
Wow, you've definitely been through some drama in your life. I think that may all be all we have time for tonight. Why don't we give a huge round of applause to Queen Mary of Scots, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, y'all. And thank you for having me. I had a great time and I'm very honored you asked me to be here today.
Okay, this is Kim, signing off.